Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. You know, sometimes in the NFL, the stars shine so brightly that the guys grinding in the trenches get overlooked. And for the Miami Dolphins, that couldn't be more true when it comes to Zach Sealer. After Christian Wilkins left in free agency last offseason, inking that massive $110 million deal with the Raiders, everyone thought the Dolphins' interior defensive line would fall apart. And honestly, it would have made sense. Wilkins was a first-round pick, a fan favorite, and a consistent presence for years. But somehow, amidst all that noise and concern, Zach Sealer not only held the line, he elevated his game. Now, a national outlet Pro Football Focus is finally giving him his flowers, naming him the Dolphins' most underrated player. And let's be real, they're absolutely right. It's long overdue. We're talking about a guy who quietly had one of the best seasons for any interior defensive lineman in the league. Sealer isn't the loudest guy in the room. He's not on highlight reels every Sunday, and you won't catch him making wild post-sack celebrations for the camera. But what he is consistent, dependable, relentless. After signing a 3-year, $38.65 million extension before the 2023 season, he didn't sit back and relax. He went to work. And boy, did it pay off, even without Wilkins lining up beside him to draw double teams and help eat up blockers. Sealer put together another monster campaign. We're talking double-digit sacks for the second straight year, with a workload that actually decreased. That's right. He had 102 fewer pass rushing snaps than in 2023 and still hit the same sack total. That's not just impressive, that's elite efficiency. And that's something even the best pass rushers in the league struggle with. Pro Football Focus dove into the numbers, and the results speak volumes. According to them, Sealer posted a 71.5 pass rush grade, good for 24th among all interior defensive linemen in 2024. But here's the kicker. He also racked up a career second-best overall grade of 78.9, which tied him for 11th at his position. That's not fringe production. That's top-tier play from a guy who isn't getting nearly enough recognition outside of South Florida. And let's address one thing real quick. PFF mistakenly listed him as having 13 sacks, but he actually had 10. Still, that doesn't change the impact. Getting double-digit sacks from the interior without Wilkins there to help, that's rare air. Let's put that into context for a second. Most teams would be thrilled to get any pressure from the interior, let alone someone consistently hitting 10 sacks a season. Defensive tackles aren't built to be sack artists. They're meant to clog lanes, eat up blockers, and free the edge rushers to do their thing. But Sealer? He's doing it all. He's stopping the run, collapsing pockets, and finishing plays. And he's doing it with a quiet intensity that coaches dream of. Dolphins fans have seen it up close since 2019 when the team snatched him off waivers from the Ravens. Since then, he's done nothing but improve. And now that Wilkins is gone, it's clear who the anchor of that defensive line really is. What's wild is how he's flown under the radar nationally. Part of that is the nature of his position. Another part is probably the shadow Wilkins cast while he was still in Miami. But if you watch the Dolphins in 2024, you saw Sealer's fingerprints all over that defense. Every big third down stop, every collapsed pocket that forced a rush throw, he was in the mix. He was the engine. He may not have had the mic'd up moments or the Pro Bowl nods, but the tape tells the real story. He showed up week in, week out, and gave quarterbacks nightmares. And in a league where production is everything, Sealer deserves to be in the conversation. What's more impressive is how he evolved after Wilkins left. In 2023, with Wilkins beside him, Sealer was already turning heads in Miami. But in 2024, he had to lead. He had to adjust to being the focal point of offensive line's blocking schemes. And guess what? He didn't just survive, he thrived. The fact that he hit 10 sacks again with fewer opportunities shows his game is rooted in technique, strength, and instincts. This wasn't a fluke. This was growth. And if he can keep this pace, we could be looking at a Pro Bowl caliber player that just hasn't had his moment in the spotlight yet. And fans in Miami? Oh, they know. They've been watching Sela throw offensive linemen around and bury running backs in the backfield for years. They've seen the hustle plays, the tackles for loss, the quiet leadership. They've seen the dude who doesn't skip snaps, doesn't take plays off, and just keeps grinding. That's why he's beloved down here. While the rest of the league was mourning the loss of Wilkins, Dolphins Nation was already watching Sela step up and carry the torch. And now that the national media is starting to catch on, it's about time everyone else recognizes what this guy brings to the table. The Dolphins' defense under Vic Fangio in 2023 and then with the transition into 2024 had its ups and downs. Injuries, schematic adjustments, and new pieces created some inconsistency. But Sela? He was the constant. Through it all, he was the guy doing the dirty work. And while flashy corners and edge rushers tend to dominate headlines, it's players like Sela who make it all possible. He sets the tone in the trenches. He creates opportunities for blitz packages. He forces quarterbacks to move off their spots. That kind of foundational impact can't be measured by stats alone, but even with the stats, his case is undeniable. So now, with the 2025 season approaching, it's time to change the narrative. It's time to start giving Zach Sela the respect he's earned. Because when you look at his body of work, 10 sacks in back-to-back seasons, elite grades, and leadership in the post-Wilkins era, there's no way this guy should still be flying under the radar. The Dolphins have a lot of stars, no doubt. But if we're talking about value, consistency, and production, Sela's name better be in that mix. And who knows? If he keeps this up, he might not just be underrated anymore. He might be unavoidable. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The NFL world has been shaken to its core by a rumor that no one saw coming. Tom Brady, the 7-time Super Bowl champion and widely regarded as the greatest quarterback of all time, may be coming out of retirement again. But this time, he's not returning to the Patriots nor the Buccaneers. According to multiple sources close to the situation, the 46-year-old legend is eyeing a shocking comeback. This time in South Florida, wearing the aqua and orange of the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you heard that right. Tom Brady might be suiting up for the Dolphins in 2025 in one last attempt to add an 8th Super Bowl ring to his already legendary career. If that doesn't get your football senses tingling, I don't know what will. This is more than just a comeback. It could be the most dramatic twist in NFL history. Let's take a moment to absorb how insane this actually is. Brady has already retired not once, but twice. His first retirement came after the 2021 season. And even though it lasted only 40 days, fans chalked it up to a moment of reflection from an aging superstar. When he announced his second retirement for good after the 2022 season, he sounded more certain than ever. He even posted a heartfelt video on the beach thanking everyone for their support over 2 incredible decades in the NFL. But now, whispers around the league are growing louder. Insiders claim Brady has been training privately in Miami, looking sharp, lean, and hungry. And apparently, he's been in quiet talks with Dolphins ownership about a possible return. Not just in an advisory or ownership role, but as a player. That's right, QB1, the comeback to end all comebacks. If there's one team that makes sense for a Brady comeback, it might just be the Dolphins. Let's not forget Miami was reportedly linked to Brady back in 2022 before the NFL shut down. The idea due to tampering allegations. At the time, it was a bombshell scandal. Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, was hit with heavy penalties for trying to lure both Brady and former Saints head coach Sean Payton to Miami. It cost the team draft picks and caused a stir throughout the league. But now, 2 years later, the idea doesn't sound so far-fetched. With Tua Tagovailoa's future still a bit uncertain due to injury concerns and contract negotiations, the Dolphins could be tempted by the possibility of bringing in the GOAT for a 1-year all-or-nothing run at the Lombardi Trophy. And for Brady, it could be the ultimate challenge and the perfect ending. Now imagine the NFL headlines if this actually happens. Brady in Miami? Playing under the South Florida sun with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as his targets. It would be absolutely electric. Add in a rock-solid defense, a sharp offensive mind in head coach Mike McDaniel, and a team that already came close to a deep playoff run in recent years, and you've got all the ingredients for a Hollywood-style comeback story. Brady has always thrived when people doubted him. He's made a career out of silencing critics, proving naysayers wrong, and redefining what it means to be great. Coming back at 46 or maybe 47 by kickoff and leading a new franchise to glory, that would be a legacy move even greater than his Super Bowl win in Tampa Bay. Of course, not everyone is thrilled about the idea. Some fans feel Brady should stay retired, preserve his legacy, and let the next generation take over. They argue that he's done everything there is to do, and returning now could risk tarnishing the image of a player who walked away still playing at a high level. Others question whether his body can still hold up to the rigors of an NFL season, especially after a year out of the league. But let's not forget, Brady has always been fanatical about his training, his diet, and his preparation. He's never been the fastest or strongest, but his football IQ and precision have always set him apart. If he believes he can still do it, and the Dolphins believe it too, then who are we to doubt him? Let's also consider the off-field dynamics. Brady already has a strong connection to the city of Miami. He owns property there, spends significant time in the area, and has deep ties to the community. There's also the business side of things. He's reportedly in talks to acquire a minority ownership stake in the Dolphins, which complicates things a bit, but also deepens the intrigue. Could he play for a team he partially owns? Now, the NFL would have to review and approve the arrangement, of course, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Tom Brady. It's not just about playing anymore, it's about building an empire, and this comeback could be the boldest move in a much bigger vision. The Dolphins themselves haven't confirmed anything publicly, but their social media accounts have been oddly cryptic lately, dropping hints, posting photos of Brady from past matchups, and fueling the fire with subtle nods. Fans are already buzzing, with some even speculating that an announcement could come before training camp. If that's true, the Dolphins season opener will instantly become the hottest ticket in town. Imagine the crowd at Hard Rock Stadium when Brady steps onto the field wearing number 12, not as a Patriot or Buccaneer, but as a Dolphin. It would be surreal, it would be iconic, and it would send a message to the rest of the league. The GOAT isn't done yet. As for Brady himself, he's remained coy. When asked about a potential return during a recent appearance at a sports tech conference, he smiled and said, "I'll never say never." Classic Brady, cool, calculated, and always in control of the narrative. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's watched the league evolve without him, seen how close the Dolphins have come, and maybe, just maybe, he sees one final shot to cement his status as not just the greatest quarterback ever, but the greatest competitor sports has ever seen. A comeback like this would be the stuff of legends. And if anyone can pull it off, it's TB12. The timing also lines up in a strange, almost poetic way. The NFL landscape is changing. A new generation of quarterbacks, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and others are taking the spotlight. But with so much talent, parity is at an all-time high, and no team feels like a lock for the Super Bowl. Brady stepping back into the arena now could tip the scales. He wouldn't need to carry a franchise for 5 years. Just one season, maybe. Even just one magical playoff run. He's done it before. And the thought of him going toe-to-toe with Mahomes one more time in the AFC, it's almost too good to be true. But sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. And this, my friends, feels like one of those times. At the end of the day, whether or not this comeback actually happens, the fact that it's even being talked about tells you everything you need to know about Tom Brady's place in the sport. He's not just a player. He's a myth, a legend, a force that continues to shape the league even in retirement. And if the rumor is true, if he really is gearing up to return in Dolphins colors, then we're about to witness one of the most jaw-dropping chapters in NFL history. Buckle up, football fans. The GOAT might be back. And this time, he's coming for one last crown under the Miami sun. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.